Hello everyone, this is Nitpicking Nerd, and today I want to tell you a funny story about the movie Avatar, which was only funny in my country because it was kind of an unintended coincidence having to do with something that happened in my country around the same time, and it made the specific scene of that movie extremely funny. I saw that movie twice in the theater when it came out, and both times the entire audience bursted into laughter in that moment. So I want to give you the context and to tell that story because it's something no one else knows about except in my country. And about this movie, one day I'll do a detailed review of it. I can tell you in short that overall I like this movie. I think there are a lot more positive things I can say about it than negatives. I do have some criticism and things I didn't like about this movie, but there are a lot more things I do like about it. And of course, the special effects, the visuals, and action scenes, which are amazing, and all of that. And so overall, I like this movie a lot more than I dislike it. Also, I think the director's cut of this movie is better. It has a lot of scenes they cut out for time in the theatrical version, and I remember thinking there were a lot of missed opportunities about that movie, certain moments which I thought, why didn't they do this or that? And then later I found out they actually did, and they simply cut it out, and so that improves the movie in my opinion. And also there's a whole bunch of deleted scenes with unfinished special effects, which you can actually find them on YouTube, and they actually fill a lot of those plot holes, a lot of those things which don't make sense, which were unexplained, and which make the movie better in my opinion, but they didn't include it for time, I guess. You can see them on YouTube, but they look like a video game because they didn't finish the special effects, but I think they would have improved the movie. But of course made it too long, and so that was the main problem. And so in short, I think the movie has a lot more good stuff than bad stuff. And one of those scenes they cut out in the theatrical version was in that love scene between Jake and Natiri. When I saw it in the theater, I remember I felt it was a missed opportunity because I was wondering what would happen if they link their ponytails together to each other as they did with whenever they wanted to link with animals, to control animals. I kept wondering what would happen if two Navi would do that to each other, and so when the love scene was happening, I was expecting that to happen, and it didn't in the theatrical version. So when I saw that the first time, I remember thinking, why the hell didn't they do that? That was such a huge missed opportunity. And later I found out in the extended edition, they actually did do that. Maybe they thought it would be too sexual to show it in the theater, or maybe they thought it would be a negative connotation because of what they were doing to the animals. All throughout the movie, they were linking to the animals with their ponytails. And so if you show that as kind of a sexual thing in that love scene, then what does that mean about all those scenes of them doing that to the animals? Were they raping the animals with their ponytails all across the movie? And so maybe that's why they removed it. But overall, I think that scene in the extended cut makes much more sense, because otherwise I would be asking them, why don't they do that? What will happen if they do? And so on. So anyway, I want to get to the funny story which relates to that love scene, and it was something that only in my country people would understand and laugh about, and I think it was a total coincidence. But I remember when I walked out of the theater, when the movie was over, people were talking about that specific moment and wondering if it was deliberate or maybe for each country there's its own version. So to explain, I will have to tell you some backstory. Around the same time, before the movie came out, we had a very popular show which was our version of American Idol, and there was a very popular female singer called Ninette Tayeb, who was the winner of that competition, and after that she became even more popular, and so everybody in the country knew about her. And then this movie came out, and there was that love scene of Jake and Natiri tells him that he can now pick a woman, and started telling him about all kinds of women, and then she said, Ninette is the best singer. I actually think she said Ninat, not Ninette, but it sounds really, really similar, and the subtitles, it looks the same, and so I remember the entire crowd, and it was a full-packed crowd, like this was a very popular movie back then, and the entire audience bursted into laughter, and it happened twice. I saw it twice in the theater. The entire audience was cracking up, and then Jake said, but I don't want Ninette. And then again, even more, the entire audience just bursted into laughter. I've never seen that kind of thing ever. And I saw it happen twice. I wish I would have recorded that moment. Like, the entire audience went nuts, and for like minutes after that, they were still laughing about that. And even after the movie was over, when I walked out in the corridor, I heard people talking about that scene and laughing about that. So that just hit the spot so well in my country because of how popular the singer Ninette was in our country right at around the same time. And then to hear that in a movie It was just, I can't really explain how funny it was. And then after the movie, I remember hearing people talking like they were thinking it was deliberate. They were thinking there's no way it's a coincidence. It must have been planned, and maybe in every country they put a different name in that scene. That someone who is the best singer would be someone in that country. And so people were not believing it was a coincidence because it was just, it hit the spot so well. It was such a funny moment that it was just too good to be true. And that's why I wanted to share this story. I do think it was a coincidence, by the way. I actually checked with different translations. I checked to see how it sounds in different countries, and it was always Ninette in every country. So they never did that specifically for some country, and I doubt, James Cameron knows about the best singer in Israel. So I do think it was a total coincidence, but it was just so funny, and that's why I wanted to share this story so that other people will know about this unintentional comedy moment in this movie. And I tell you, I never heard an audience go wild so much in a movie theater as I did in that movie. Twice in a row I saw that totally different audience. I doubt it was the same people, and each time the entire audience bursted into laughter, especially after what Jake said. And just the entire audience went wild. And so anyway, that's the story. I just wanted to share it because no one knows about it outside my country, and I don't think anyone made a video about this, so I just wanted to share it. So let me know what you think, and I have a lot of stories like that with my unique perspective about certain movies, because I wasn't even born in this country. I was born in the Soviet Union, and then only later I moved to Israel, and I didn't know Hebrew, I didn't know English until later, so there was a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of funny situations in all kinds of movies and TV shows I was watching, and misunderstanding things because of the whole language mess and all of that. So I actually have some funny stories which might be funny, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Was this story funny to you? Would you like to hear more stories like this? Let me know what you think. You can ask me questions in the comment section and we can discuss it, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.